Welcome to More to the Story, where I'm going to look at how the popular stories we love are often showing us more than we realise about life and even God. Today I want to summarise for you the story of Wonder Woman and point out how the story echoes to us deep longings of things that I think are ultimately found in the true and better story of Jesus. So there's a lot of hype around the Wonder Woman film because it had a woman as the main hero, but also has this scene early on with all these women who are training to battle Ares. Ares is the god of war, and Wonder Woman and these women are training to protect the world from the god of war. But Wonder Woman's mum is hesitant and wants to protect Wonder Woman from the world and from Ares. And as Wonder Woman's training and practicing, there's this plane that crashes in the water near where they live. And Wonder Woman and these other women go down to rescue Steve, this American. But as they rescue him and bring him to shore, there are these other German soldiers who are trying to kill him. And Steve tells Wonder Woman that there's a war to end all wars. Wonder Woman thinks Ares has returned. And so as they rescue Steve, Wonder Woman starts to chat with Steve and plans to try and leave her mum and go into the world to try and save the world. But as Wonder Woman is sneaking off with Steve, her mum catches her and says to her,
"Be careful in the world of men, Diana. They do not deserve you."
So at this point we're left wondering, and I'm sure Wonder Woman was as well, what's this world going to be like that she's stepping out into? So anyway, Steve and Wonder Woman, they sail to London. But as she gets to London, she realises that she doesn't fit in. She sees lots of suffering, and ultimately she ends up being rejected by the humans there. So she decides with Steve to go to the front line. And she believes when she gets to the front line, she's going to find Ares. So she gets to the front line, and with some soldiers, she ends up being involved in a battle. And then she believes she kills Ares. However, she realises something.
You killed the god of war. You stopped the war.
Exactly what we have to do now. We need to stop the gas. Come on.
No, all of this should have stopped.
Diana,
the fighting should have stopped.
we don't have time to talk
Why
about
are they
this.
doing
I don't
this?
know. I don't know.
Ares
I
is
know
dead.
that
They can stop fighting now. Why are they still fighting?
That's because maybe it's them. Maybe people aren't always good. Ares or no Ares. Maybe it's who they are. Diana. No. Diana, we can talk about this later. No. I need you to come with me.
No,
Right?
after everything I saw, it can't be. It cannot be. They were killing each other. Killing people they cannot see. Children. No, it had to be him. It cannot be them.
Diana, people...
She was right. My mother was right. She said the world of men do not deserve you. They don't deserve our help.
It's not about deserve. It's
help.
not. Maybe we don't. But it's not about that. It's about what you believe. You don't think I get it after what I've seen out there? You don't think I wish I could tell you that it was one bad guy to blame? It's not. We're all to blame.
I'm not.
But maybe I am.
So again, we are wondering, will Wonder Woman help Steve and save humanity? And as she's kind of weighing up what she's going to do, the real and true Ares reveals himself. And he says to Wonder Woman that she is right, that the humans don't deserve her and that they deserve destruction. And as Wonder Woman hears this and is weighing up what she should do, she hears from Steve that he loves her, and she sees him fly off in this plane with these dangerous weapons, and he chooses to sacrifice himself and die for her and for humanity. And this amazing moment sparks within her the realization and the belief that humans are worth saving.
They do not deserve your protection!
It's not about deserve. It's about what you believe. And I believe in love.
And so she kills Ares, The battle ends, the sun rises, and her and these soldiers, they return back to London. And Wonder Woman says at the end of the film how she now has realised that only love can truly save the world. So this Wonder Woman story, I think, is about how we as humans don't deserve to be saved, but through heroic love, we are saved. Did you resonate when Wonder Woman was unsure whether or not to save humanity? And did you admire when Steve performed the sacrifice of himself for her and humanity? I think as humans we have this inescapable feeling of not being good enough. And that leads to us trying to fit in with others. It leads to us being influenced by peer pressure. It leads to us often lying. I think this connects to our experience of life. But also, we long for someone to love and commit to us despite this. So I believe this popular story is meant to stir our longings for heroic love that can only ultimately be found and satisfied in the true and better story of Jesus. Let me explain. So the world Wonder Woman eventually got to see isn't different from the world Jesus knew and saw as well. Jesus saw that humans aren't good, that humans are to blame, and that humans also, because of their selfishness, cause war with one another. And God, like Diana's mum, has every right to want to protect Jesus and say to Jesus that the world doesn't deserve you. But God so loved the world that he would send his son into the world. And Jesus willingly stepped into this world. Like Wonder Woman, as Jesus spent more time in the world, he saw, just like Wonder Woman, he didn't fit in, that he saw lots of suffering, and he was ultimately rejected by humans. He also decided to go to the front line of humanity and humanity's evil. Wonder Woman, we saw, was surprised. She was surprised to see that actually humans are to blame and that humans aren't good. And we're wondering, will Wonder Woman save humanity? And we're left wondering, would Jesus save humanity? But Jesus is different. So like Wonder Woman, Jesus isn't to blame for the mess of humanity. Jesus lived a completely perfect life. But unlike Wonder Woman, Jesus didn't doubt that humans are worth saving. Jesus chose to sacrifice himself for humanity. But it took Steve's love, protection, and sacrifice for Wonder Woman and for humanity to convince Wonder Woman that humans are worth saving. Now, Jesus loved and protected humanity, but nobody convinced or proved to Jesus that humans are worth saving. So the only reason that Jesus chose to save humanity is because he believes in love. We are not saved based on what we've done, but because God is love. So Jesus knew we are worse than we thought, that he had to die and sacrifice himself for us. But he loved us more than we could ever believe, that there's nothing we can do to try and convince ourselves to God that we are worth saving. So Jesus destroyed evil like Wonder Woman, and Jesus sacrificed himself like Steve did. And Jesus believed in love like Wonder Woman and like Steve. Jesus is the true and better Wonder Woman and Steve that we long for. So Wonder Woman came to realise two things that Jesus always knew. Number one, that humans don't deserve to be saved. And number two, that only love can truly save the world. And when we as humans realise that this kind of undeserved, heroic love can truly save us, then we can embrace Jesus and get on with the mission of truly loving others in the world who don't deserve to be helped or loved as well. And this is the story of Jesus and Christianity, that we as humans don't deserve to be loved. We have an inescapable feeling of not being good enough. But God so loves the world that he would send Jesus into the world. And Jesus lived the life we should have lived and then ultimately died and sacrificed himself for us, because our acceptance from God isn't based on what we can do, but it's based on what Jesus has done. So I believe there is more to this story of Wonder Woman because it connects with our feelings of not being good enough, but it stirs our longings for ultimate heroic love. And I believe this can only be found ultimately in the true and better story of Jesus and Christianity. So stay tuned for more videos. And probably right now you're wondering, how does Jesus dying save humanity? I'll do a video on that one, but also other videos that are looking at more to the story in the movies we love that are often telling us or showing us more than we realize about life and even God.